Hey y'all, Krista here again, aka Bahamianista. I wanted to do an update to my hair paint wax review because I tried it again and it actually worked. Now, just for your reference, this is day one of my blue ombre braid out with the blue hair paint wax. I was so feeling it. Y'all get into this slow-mo. So just so you know, this is not a tutorial. I did not film myself when I was doing this just because I did not have a lot of time and I wasn't thinking about it. But I did do a tutorial on my channel with the pink purple hair paint wax. This one I use the blue hair paint wax, but I'm just going to give you guys some tips on how to make it work for you. So before I get into the tips, I'll just let you know that this is not my first time using hair paint wax. The first few times it was basically a horror movie. I was not able to get it right. It leaked onto my clothes. It ran onto my clothes, onto my sheets. It didn't last like maybe 2 days. I found myself constantly putting the hair paint wax in and it was just a hot mess. I loved the color. I loved that I didn't have to dye or bleach my hair and that I could have this great color. But the whole process, I was just over it. One of my followers on Instagram actually was like, you know what? You should do the tips of your hair with the hair paint wax and see how that goes. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. I thought it was a good idea. I just used the blue hair paint wax on the ends of my locks. It has been 10 days since I officially put the blue hair paint wax in. I have not washed my hair. It technically is still showing it's more like a navy blue now. I'm basically gonna walk y'all through how I did it, talking wise, not gonna show you. Sorry, this is not a tutorial. Also, I wanna share why I think the first few times it didn't work as well and what tips I can share with you to maybe help you avoid that if you're trying hair paint wax for the first time. Let's get into it. So tip number one, basically know what you want to do ahead of time. So I had already known that I was going to do just the tips of my hair because I didn't want to do the full thing. I was already kind of over it and I was like, you know what, let me just do a portion of my hair instead of all of my locks. So I knew already that I was just going to put it on the tips. And I knew that I wanted a braid out kind of look, so like crinkly locks or crinkly style. So I feel like one of the most important tips is you have to know where you want the color to go. And also you have to know what style you eventually want. That's going to also depend on your drying time as well. Because I know for sure my hair dries differently when it's just, you know, a regular retwist. Or if it's a braid out, I gotta give it a little bit more time. Tip number two, specifically for application, when you put this hair wax on your hair, you want your hair to be damp, but not like dripping wet. And the reason I say that is because when you go to dry it, if your hair is damp but not super wet, that makes it just a little bit easier for the wax to dry as well. I feel like you obviously the directions on the container say to make sure you apply the damp hair, but don't make it, shouldn't be so wet to the point where it's like slipping, sliding, you know, that kind of way. You really want the wax to stick. So I would do it on like damp hair. Like I towel dried my hair. It was still damp because my hair takes a while to dry. So it was kind of perfect where it was damp enough for me to apply it, but it was also dry enough for it to kind of like stick and adhere and not be like super slidey and all of that jazz. Another thing about application, don't use a lot of products. I feel like hair paint wax in itself is a product that you can use, like a styling product on your hair. So what I ended up doing was I ended up washing my hair. I ended up doing a conditioner as well. I washed that out. And then on top of that, I did not put in a leave-in conditioner like I usually do. I was like, let me just try it without a leave-in and see what happens. What I ended up doing was I did do a little bit of a retwist on my root. So I did put a little gel on my roots when I was retwisting and braiding my hair. But I put nothing, literally nothing on the rest of my hair. Like it was just water and that was it. So I feel like one of the reasons why it stayed for 10 whole days is because I did not use any additional products. Now, in my other video, I did use other additional products because I wanted curls, I wanted, definition, and I thought, combining the products would make it work or stay, but I was wrong. It fell flat when I did the pink primrose type color. But this time I only used the hair wax on my ends. I didn't even put oil when I took it down. I literally just kind of used the hair paint wax as the primary and basically only hair product. The next tip you need to know about using hair paint wax is you need to allow for enough drying time. So I knew that I wanted my hair to be ready for the next day, and thankfully it was. I was just literally going out on a limb, y'all. And I wasn't 100% sure if it would have dried or not, but I just was like, you know what, let me just try it this way. So I did the whole application, I put it on, I braided my hair, and I sat under the dryer that night for 2 hours, and I did some work. While I did that, I went to sleep on a towel with my bonnet over my braided locks. And then when I woke up in the morning, I went straight to the dryer again, and I sat underneath it for 2 hours. I think I watched like Netflix, or I did some more work, and I let it kind of stay until about maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock that day. Basically, I took the braids out and I had a braid out. It was a lot crinklier than this. And I made sure that it was absolutely dry before I took it out. I was actually surprised that it dried in such a little time, because normally, even sitting under the dryer, like 1 for like the next day, my hair isn't dry. But I think what's really important is you cannot oversaturate your hair with water. You have to make sure it's damp, but not too damp. And I feel like that's a really, really important thing you guys got to remember when you're using this product. In terms of drying, I actually have a hooded dryer, so I sit under my dryer. I know everybody doesn't maybe have a hooded dryer or not. If you have a blow dryer, there's actually this little item thing that you can like attach to the blow dryer, and you can sit and just kind of maybe hold the blow dryer, which might be a little uncomfortable, but if you really want the hair to work, trust me, you'll find a way. So I recommend sitting under the dryer for maybe in increments of 2 hours. If you can't sit under it for like maybe 4 or 5 or whatever and stuff like that. But I literally did it the night of, I put the hair wax in the night of, and then I took it out maybe give or take 12 hours later, once it was absolutely dry. Tip number 4 is actually for taking it down. When you have locks or you do braid outs, curls, stuff like that, obviously there's a process involved where you have to take the actual apparatuses out of your hair. Basically, I just did my braid outs with regular elastic bands, and that was it. I just literally took them out one by one, and I unbraided my hair, and I had like this really cute crinkly look. When I took it out, I was wearing black. So I really, really think this is important. If you don't want the wax to bleed onto your clothes, or if you're fearful that it didn't dry enough and it's still gonna bleed, wear black. Wear black something. I wore a black dress. I had a date. I didn't want to fool around with wearing any other color, so I put on a black dress and called it a day. When I took it down, I was expecting some bleeding. I didn't see any bleeding, probably because I was wearing black, but what I did see on my clothes was little flaky blue type of residue, and usually that happens anytime I do a takedown, like the gel or something will like flake, especially from the rubber bands, like taking them off the ends of my locks. So just be prepared for that. Like there is going to be some residue, some sort of, something from the hair, but I think it's because it was dry, it was a little flaky, the satin a third. It wasn't too flaky. Maybe the flakiness stayed for like maybe 1 to 2 days, but other than that, it was fine. Like I could run my hand through my hair right now and nothing, like it's not even on my hand, it doesn't even, so I took pictures, and this is just, maybe an additional tip, but not really. Make sure you take it in direct sunlight to get like the actual effect. Good lighting, a good light picture, because I noticed there was definitely a difference in the way my hair looked with good lighting versus being indoors and being outdoors. So I stepped outside onto my patio. The sun was very harsh. I basically took a few selfies and a video of my hair, and I'll put that here so you can see it. But the color was like bang in your face, like beautiful blue. I was just so happy with it. I was like, wow, I'm so glad I didn't give up on this product, because I just never had that richness of color, and I definitely don't want to dye or bleach my hair again. I've done it before, so I prefer using hair paint wax as a temp kind of color and then just washing it out. Plus, you know, I change my mind all the time about how I want my locks to look. So anyway, going off on a tangent, but yeah, when you do take your pictures, make sure you take them in direct sunlight. I don't care how hot it is. I don't care where the sun is in the sky. Just make sure you find a good angle and get that picture. Tip number 5 is mostly basically about sleeping routine, and basically, I guess, how to make sure you don't mess up your sheets and your clothes. Like I said, it was literally just flaky blue residue that came off when I did the takedown. So I wasn't like too scared, but I was still kind of scared. So that night, after I came back home for my outing, I went to sleep. I put on my bonnet first, and then I laid a towel over my pillow. So, and I did that for maybe the first 2 or 3 nights after I did the takedown. And there was nothing on the pillow. I mean, there was nothing on my towel when I had done it like months ago in Trinidad, and I didn't have time to dry it. Like, the towel was messed up. My clothes had blue on it. Like, when I did it in October with the primrose color, the back of my shirt was purple. My neck and back was, and my shoulders was purple. It was just a hot mess. But this time, y'all, it was not a hot mess. Like, there was literally no trace of paint on the towel, or even, well, my bonnet is dark. It's dark colored, so I wouldn't have been able to tell. But like, I wore gray clothes. I wore, you know, different color stuff. And I literally had like maybe just a blue flakiness, and that was about it. But other than that, I didn't see any residue. That might just be my case. I don't know about y'all, but even up to now, like, I don't get residue like on my skin or on my clothes. So I was very, very happy about that. So, but if you want to be safe, make sure you sleep maybe with a towel over, or maybe dark sheets. Definitely put on, like, cover your hair with like a bonnet or something like that. If you don't want your bonnet to like be different colors, maybe use a black bonnet or a dark colored bonnet. So tip number 6, and this just speaks to longevity of keeping the color, because it almost automatically starts to wear off after the first day. Like, you are going to definitely see a significant change from day 1 to like day 5. Like, it's definitely a difference. And now it still looks good. I think I might even wait another week to wash it out until my normal wash time. Just know it's not going to be bright blue, red, green, orange, whatever color you pick forever. It won't be like that. It's going to wear off. So just know that. Don't have expectations to have like blue blazing hair for like days and days on end. You won't. It definitely wears off. Maybe this is different for other textured hair, but for locks, at least my locks, it doesn't last that long. As you can see, it is still basically noticeable. It's not quite the color I absolutely love and like, but I do love how I did the ombre type of look, and it looks a little bit more ombre natural, quote unquote, coming from my black hair all the way to my all the way to the ends. So I actually still like how it looks. It's been 10 days. I have not washed it. I haven't put oils in it. I haven't put any water in it. If any water got in it, it was by mistake. And I think I might give it a few more days before I wash it. Just depends on how much time I have to actually do wash and style my hair. But yeah, it's still hair. It's still nice. It's still cute. So yeah. Tip number 7, washing out and getting rid of the color when you don't want the color no more. I talked about this in the first hair paint wax review video that I did, that it literally washes out. All of it washes out when you decide to wash it out. I think 3 to 4 trials of washing your hair in one go is enough to get it out of your hair. The only thing I have to say is if you are washing your hair out, wash it in like a sink, like a kitchen sink, if your sink is deep enough, if you can, or maybe like a little bucket, or get somebody to help you or something like that. If you don't want to stain your tub, because when I took my primrose color out, that thing definitely left a pink purplish stain around my tub, and it was like hell getting it out. I know for sure when I wash this out, go into my kitchen, because my kitchen has like, obviously it isn't white like a tub would be, you know, it's like that stainless steel type of thing. That's what I recommend if you don't want to stain up your white tub and all these different things and kill yourself trying to scrub this thing off. I've gotten the color out, so I wouldn't say stain it, but you're going to be scrubbing for a while, just FYI. So would I use the hair paint wax again? Yes, I would. I have a few things in mind that I want to do in terms of like curls, using it like maybe like a highlight type of situation, where maybe I use like a gold or something like that for different highlights in my hair. I do want to do my tips again, maybe just do the littlest tips or maybe higher. I'm not sure. I definitely want to do curls. Definitely would like to do a braid out again. It really just depends. I definitely want to try a lot of the colors, so hopefully I can get some more tutorials down for you guys and see how I can mix it up and whatnot. Hair paint wax, it varies by price, but it's definitely less than $10 per bottle. So I think the blue was like maybe $6.99, $7.99. I'll definitely put the link in the description box below so you guys can purchase it. I have an affiliate code, yes. So you can actually use Bahamianista at checkout for 10% off on your hair paint wax purchases. Anytime, share it with a friend. So yeah, that's my affiliate code. It's not sponsored. I bought all the hair paint wax myself, and I'm definitely gonna buy some more because I just like it. If you wanted to know if it's good for carnival, I think it is amazing to use for carnivals and fetes. I think it's good for vacation hair if you just want a new look. It is good if you just want to spice things up, whether you have curly hair, locks, an afro, whatever it is. I think it is an awesome product for that. Just you have to make sure whatever your process is that it dries so it isn't like everywhere, you know, when you're out and about. Only thing about fetes though, if it's a wet fet or maybe juve, hopefully you cover your hair for juve. If it's a wet fet or a beach fet or a pool fet and you get thrown in the water or it's out to rain or something like that, I think without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to leak or drain onto your skin and your clothes. So just be wary of that. Be careful. Maybe take an umbrella with you or something like that so your hair survives the fet. But I know certain songs like Wet to Tub can be a bit of a struggle. For all my non-carnival watchers, if you don't know, my channel is also dedicated to carnival as well. So check it out. I have a whole playlist of carnival vlogs and carnival topics that you guys can check out as well. But yeah, just be wary because I think the color would drain. And I have yet to try it at another carnival again. You just have to make sure you have the time to do it, to style your hair, and you have adequate enough drying time for it to stay, because like literally this stayed for 10 days, y'all. Like I'm still in awe. I'm like, every day I wake up and I look in the mirror and I'm like, my hair ain't black yet. Like this color's still in here. What is going on? So I was really excited about that. Anyway, y'all, that's it for this hair paint wax review. Tips on how to help you make it last and how you can survive the wet gooiness and the drainage and the leakage and stuff like that. And hopefully you guys find this helpful. If you have any other questions, just let me know in the comments below. Remember to use my discount code to get 10% off Bahamianista when you purchase your hair paint wax. Definitely look at the description box. I have the link to buy the hair paint wax and I have the code there, so check that out. Also, let me know if you guys want me to do any more hair paint wax tutorials. I'll do my best because there's a few colors I want to try, like purple, red, green. But yeah, that's me. That's it. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.